I'll start it now. You're about to go what into Black Lives Matter?
Yeah. Like say for example, I think liberals don't understand. Like from their perspective, they see with the Black Lives Matter movement, they see things through a very myopic lens. They can't get an idea of the big picture. When they hear something along the lines of all lives matter, the only thing that they hear is racism.
Because Black lives don't matter if all lives matter. Like you're not alive. You see, that's insane to me. And the same part about, yes, of course Black lives matter because every life matters. That's what we're trying to say.
Right.
But it's like a slap in the face because apparently black wasn't included in the all lives matter. Why was it not? Was it not included to you? It was included to me.
Right. They see it. They have such a myopic view of the world that they think when somebody is saying all lives matter, it automatically sucks the wind out of the sails of the Black Lives Matter movement. And the problem is, the difference really is it's a distortion of the root cause of police brutality, whereas liberals see the root cause of police brutality as racism. And people that are not in that boat that say, well, it's not necessarily racism, and maybe racism is a part of it in some cases, but the real root cause is down to an institutional level burgeoning of police state policies. It's down to a police state, like quantitatively, and probably even proportionately too. I don't know, but certainly qualitatively, cops are mowing down whites way more than they're mowing down blacks.
Well, cops are more hesitant to shoot at black people at this point because of this craziness.
Right.
They're getting they have these people that'll go and attack cops randomly, like somebody pumping gas, and they'll shoot you in the back of the head or something. Like, dude, what the hell's that? We don't want
all you have to do is spend a week on Live Week to get an idea of the mentality of cops and how it's fundamentally out of control.
They're trying the best they can. Let's put it that way.
Well, they're trying the best they can, but the problem is their training.
Oh yeah, you got some bad training going on where they're like shoot first sometimes training. That's starting to go in.
That's what it is. No one else in the world has that level of mindset except for countries that have serious dysfunction. And a lot of people, I mean, even cops from Russia would walk in the United States and say, at first glance, they'd be like, "This is fucked. There's serious dysfunction here."
Yeah. Well, the shoot first training should never be an issue. It should never happen, but it's starting to happen now across because you do run into situations where these people are going to hate you just because you're a cop immediately. It can't be like that. And deep down, there's a person. Are there bad cops out there? Sure. There's bad everything out there, and there's good everything out there too. So you can't just say that just because this person's a cop, it's bad.
That's right. But I mean, the problem is that they have a system that encourages certain kinds of behavior, and I think what a lot of people don't realize or don't want to realize is that this is eventually going to create enormous backlash, and I think maybe at some level it's designed to, in order that you can have federalization of local police forces.
Oh, I think so on purpose. I think deep down this Black Lives Matter thing, I think it was rooted in some kind of divide and conquer, some kind of Soros-based thing.
You got it.
Basically,
if they were able to really get to the root of the problem and protest the real root of the problem, which is not inherently racism, it's the fact that there's a police state cropping up around you. That would be problematic to the police state that's cropping up around you. And so what they're trying to do is they're trying to get on this divide and conquer shit. They know how people are going to react. They want blacks to see it in a racial light. And then when they see it in a racial light, it automatically creates a natural backlash from the whites saying, no, this isn't a racial thing. This is something else. Like, it's an automatic divide and conquer tactic.
Well, when everyone's fighting with each other, when everyone's fighting with each other, it's pretty easy to take control of everybody. Then you can move your systems in, and they'll say, oh, look, well, y'all are just fighting with each other, and then everyone will just pop off against each other and won't realize the real enemy that's coming in, that's trying to control everything and squat over us, like the Skeksis, like I was saying in the other conversation.
It's the problem. Ultimately, when you drill down into it, it's the problem posing as the solution. And of course, the problem is going to be, or the solution is ultimately going to be posed as federalization of the police force. Like, it's going to be the central government stepping in.
Oh, when that happens, it's nuh-uh. When that happens, it's over.
Liberals have this religious-like belief and faith.
Don't call them liberals. The true liberal is Thomas Jefferson in 1776. That's real liberal. These guys are the regressive left, and I won't call them anything else from now on. I'm done. They are the regressive left.
Yeah, they really are. And I mean, in places where you actually do have racism, like, basically racism is always going to be there. This gets back to the idea that at a fundamental level, you're not going to be able to change people's beliefs, ever. And even if it's on the minority side, every time that you have...
And people always think blacks when they think racism and things like that. No. And not only that, look, sweetheart, the Christians were the ones trying to free slaves from day one. All right?
That's right.
That back in the day, all the way back to the Slavs that were slaves. And you go back to the Ottoman Empire and all that stuff. Go look that stuff up, y'all.
It's still going on today.
Homie,
I mean,
we're still fighting the damn Crusades.
Yeah.
We're still trying to free the slaves. We're trying to free everyone. We want freedom. And the slaves are not even just black. They're everybody. We are all in this prison planet, and we're trying to free everybody. It's unbelievable. And the Christians are the ones mainly doing it. And I consider myself Christian, although I don't follow a main church or anything at this point, because the churches are crazy. I mean, that's all corrupt. You got the peder-ass Vatican, the Jesuit Pope, whatever the hell that guy is. But I'm going into a lot of topics at once there. But I think even from day one, I think the white people have been trying to free the slaves.
That's right. That's right. They're the only group of people that's ever tried to do it.
They still got people on slave blocks in Egypt.
It would have never happened.
They still got people on slave blocks in Egypt and Libya. And
in sub-Saharan Africa, you still have slavery going on.
Yeah.
And the only people that are doing anything about it are the whites.
That's right. And not only that, I hate that we tore up Libya. That's not what I wanted. Golly, we destabilized so many countries and we've let them loose because of the Imam-in-Chief Obama. Good God. And Hill Dog was acting right with him.
Yeah.
I don't know. I hate to go down that kind of direction, but it's true, and it matches up with history. Istanbul was once Constantinople,
There is a semi-religious, self-flagellating undertone in modern-day liberalism. It's bizarre. It's like it's some sort of like self-hating, self-loathing psychology factor going in there. It's almost like it's some sort of bizarre religious thing.
To me, it looks like they beat people down enough to where they think the only way that they can do anything is worship the people that are beating them down and just continue that thing.
Right.
Like, hey, we'll keep them voting Democrats for the next 200 years. Like one of those.
It's based in it's a lot of like. I tell you what it is. A lot of it is, and you see the kind of self-hating undertones in Christianity. Like, you have original sin, you can never escape it. You have to trust in this institution or this higher institution vis-a-vis this higher power in order to cleanse yourself of your original sin.
I've got a lot to say on that. Hold on. Keep going. I'm not gonna stop.
It's sort of like it's almost like the institution now you have this original sin of being white that you can't escape. The sin of your ancestors, just like it was the sin of Adam and Eve, your ancestors. You can never escape it, and so you need to submit to this higher authority, this political authority, basically.
Original sin. And as soon as you're conceived and born into the world and you become a soul that becomes into a body, you are originally, I guess, sinful. I guess, what, sex is a sin? No, I don't think so. I think, actually, they're trying to make you feel bad here and there. But what I'm really going at, oh God, I gotta put it together. Keep going for a second. I've got something strong here. Just give me a second.
I mean, there's some sort of instinct, and it's particularly strong with liberals. They feel the need to hate themselves. It does something. It somehow does something for them. I don't understand it. I don't understand how that works, but it does something for them. And so they sort of seek out these things. They seek out these belief systems that make them hate themselves.
Well, with original sin, you shouldn't feel bad about being yourself. That's what I guess I was going towards the same thing you just said. You shouldn't feel bad about being you just because you exist. That's nothing wrong with that. But I've heard in the Hermetic versions of things about the progression of the stars and the as above, so below stuff. And how everything matches up with the stars, like how the stars are lined up and where they are in the sky. It matches up how you are, and it matches up what's going on with the world. I have heard that you're born basically out of sin, and you go ahead and go through your life however you choose to. And I don't know. I think even if that is true, I think that most people fight through all of that and go ahead and try to do good things and try to make up for anything. And actually, even if they're not even trying to make up for anything, most people are nice people trying to help. Unless you got some kind of, like, if you got that self-loathing, crippling depression, nihilism, or whatever, and then at that point you're just gaining followers the worse you feel, I guess maybe that makes them feel a little better. A little dopamine hit for getting likes.
That's what it is.
Maybe it's something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I could not see myself being like that. Like, look, I've been shit on left and right my whole life. It's whatever. But I've had a very good life, and I was raised up real lucky in a good situation. And it's been hell trying to get anything done, even in that good of a situation. So I can understand where somebody would be really upset if they were in not such a good situation. I mean, I get it. Look, man, that's rough, dude. It sucks. But hey, let's help each other out, you know?
They're trust fund babies. They've never experienced a bad situation in their life, and so they think, well, no white person has been in a bad situation in their life. No white person has ever been persecuted, and they project. You're talking
on the high end, the hill dog Democrat voters that are on the high end or dead, one or the other.
Yeah. I mean, it's also part of the civil service class. Like Black Pigeon Speaks touched on it. It's these people that have enough money from their parents that they can basically go into the volunteer service sort of thing. And never have to, because they never have to worry about money. They can afford working for a nonprofit because they're supported by their parents. They don't have to worry about acquiring economic resources to survive.
And for me, that always has torn me up, and it's still tearing me up to a degree, because I know my parents pick up a couple of the bills that I should be able to pay. And, that still bothers me to this day, that they have to still help. And it's like, damn it, why? Why can't I just do all this on my own, have a family, do everything I wanted to do my whole life? No, you can't.
I think the difference is you're struggling. You still struggle. You experience some form of...
I'm fighting my ass off, bro.
Yeah, they don't. They will never know fear. That's the problem. They don't live with fear.
Well, I don't necessarily live with fear. But I'm fighting my ass off. I'm going after it, man. Whatever. I'm here. I'm swinging away. What else can you do? You gonna just fold or whatever? And then you got people that...
The economic situation is such that fear is the default. If you don't have a good enough job, if you aren't able to pay the bills, you'll be out on the street homeless, and you won't be able to take care of yourself. You know, like bad things will befall you.
And then the people that are out on the street homeless, not able to take care of themselves, why are they voting for a system that would perpetuate that?
Well, that's what they don't get. They think by creating a welfare state and redistributing taxes, taxing the rich to give to the poor, that everybody will be in a much better economic situation. The problem is that's patently false. In places like Europe that are actually or were functional, they were in part functional because they didn't have to worry about paying for their
Constantinople.
For a lot of reasons, and Europe essentially survived off the back of the United States post-World War II.
And they created the European Union.
That's right. And
the United Nations. Supposedly so we would never have a war again, right? That's why they... Oh, what a joke. It's basically another, League of Nations that the Russians didn't want to be a part of, so then they had World War II with another false flag. My God. Do you want to go into it? Gulf of Tonkin, Pearl Harbor? Do we want to really go into all of these false flag wars?
Yeah, a lot of those things are up for speculation and debate. Like, for example, the attack on Pearl Harbor, right? Like the fact that the Americans had broken.
It's to drag us into it. It was to drag us into it, but we had to go into it to win.
To get into it. The question is, did Americans had broken Purple. They had broken the Japanese version of Enigma a long time ago. Purple was actually weaker than Enigma.
I don't know about those two things. Wait a second. Purple and Enigma. Hold on. Tell me about. I don't know what that is.
Purple is the Japanese version of Enigma, and it's a more ghetto version of Enigma. And even by 1936, Enigma was broken.
What is Enigma?
Enigma was where the German code machines, the cipher machines.
Oh, the code translations.
Yeah, they were a cryptographic device.
Yeah, okay.
And those were broken. You go back far enough, you look at they were. I think it was originally created by a Belgian or a Dutch guy, and then he sold them to the Germans. And the Germans had traditionally had shitty cryptography anyway, and so remember the Zimmerman telegram, and so they bought this device, and before even the invasion of Poland, the Poles had broken the German device. They had developed the cryptographic bombs. They had developed the map, and when the Germans invaded Poland, the Poles flew that out to France, and then from France to Bletchley Park. And so we were breaking the German codes the entire war.
Man, I'm like a little kid sitting here. Listening to you. This is amazing. Keep going.
By the time that 1941 rolls around, in fact, December of 1941, it's old news. And it's interesting that the only cryptographically guarded telegraph between Churchill and Roosevelt is still to this day not classified. And it happened on the day that the Japanese fleet sailed for Pearl Harbor. So obviously the British were able to know what was going on.
Uh-huh.
They were in Bletchley Park. They were able to, if they had broken Enigma, and that's harder. It's cryptographically more difficult than Purple. It's safe to assume that they were also spying on.
Well, didn't we have the Indians helping us out with that? Something like that going on?
Not that I'm aware of. The Indians,
the Native Americans, they broke.
No, that's the Navajo Code Talkers. That's later.
When was that?
No, that was all throughout the Pacific War. They were using the Code Talkers in tactical situations.
Still World War II, though, right?
Through a cryptographic device.
It was World War II, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was World War II.
But you're talking about something different.
Yeah, I'm talking about actual computing, cryptographic devices.
Okay.
Yeah. So the Navajo Code Talkers weren't involved in that sort of stuff. They weren't involved in breaking German and Japanese codes.
Okay.
The Navajo Code Talkers were using their own language as a cryptographic code, basically.
Go back to where you were with the with Enigma.
And so basically, the day that the Japanese fleet sails, the British contact the Americans with a telegram that is still to this day classified. That should be, is that a coincidence? I mean, I think the Americans suspected an attack at Pearl Harbor.
Oh, they knew it was going to happen. Of course they did.
It could have just been an exercise, but it's also interesting that they kept their obsolete battleships in port.
An exercise? Like they had the same exercise during 9/11 going on all over the place? Oh, yeah, my God.
Yeah, exactly.
An exercise. You kind of see right through it eventually. It's like, man, no, it's still classified to this day for that reason. They don't want us to see through it. Of course they don't.
That's right. I mean, it exposes, and that's the real truth of warfare, is that soldiers are basically pawns, and that's how they were used in World War II, so that they could bring us into the war. They probably didn't suspect, like what happened with the Arizona, where a Japanese dive bomber would score a direct hit on the magazine and blow the ship up. They probably just expect, and I think they also didn't expect that Japanese torpedo bombers would be of any. But it happened. I think they expected that. I think they expected an attack, possibly. I don't think they expected it would be as devastating as it was.
And those Japanese guys were crazy. They're willing to go in and actually kamikaze bomb. I heard that before they went on those missions, they got like this crazy lavish meal and everything, and treated like real well and everything. They get in that plane and they're willing to do that. That's insane. That's just nuts.
Yeah, I mean, in naval battles all throughout the Pacific, when a Japanese ship would be sunk, an American destroyer or cruiser would go by the sailors in the water, the Japanese sailors, and say they would try to rescue them. And the Japanese sailors would refuse to be rescued. They'd rather be eaten alive by sharks. It's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, fanatics.
That's insane brainwashing, too.
It is.
When you're at that, it's like, look, man, we could all get along, everything could be fine, but we're not going to.
Well, it's death before dishonor kind of brainwashing.
Well, liberty or freedom or death. I mean, that's about where you're thinking on that. But there are times when that's true, and you have to actually be on that level for certain things.
That's right. Yeah, you do. I mean, I think that there's a level of rationalization to be done before you do that sort of thing. It doesn't make sense to walk blindly into it. You make yourself a pawn for somebody else's game. That
was an awesome history of World War II, man. That was amazing. I didn't know half of that stuff. That was crazy. I don't know. I want to put it back to now. Like, all right, I'll go ahead and go back to the phone conversation I was having with you that had not been recorded. I have been recording now. That's amazing what I just got. Basically, I was talking about right after college, right? I figured, all right, I got a mechanical engineering degree from Georgia Tech. I'm gonna be all right. I'm gonna get a job and everything's gonna be all right. And I'm gonna start off at whatever, and we're gonna be good. No, man, no. You didn't have any experience. You weren't getting hired. Oh, you need a job to have experience? Guess what? You're screwed. Basically, you're in this crazy catch-22. And so I figured, all right, things are going bad. The answer for all this is education. You got to teach people. You got to tell people what's going on. You got to help them out. So I went into education, and my first year there was 2008. I saved an AP Calc class from not knowing jack shit to getting 5 out of 5 on the AP test, a couple of them, and some got 4s, and the rest, I mean, they made it through pretty good. They were all right. They're all right. And they, one of the senior classes, a different one, it was like, I don't know what the class was. It was some kind of senior algebra or something. But anyway, They're like, who are you going to vote for this year? You going to vote? You going to vote? You going to vote for Obama, right? You got to vote for Obama. You going to vote for Obama?
Right.
They were like giving me a hard time, and I was like, look, man, we're teaching math. I'm doing math here. What are you talking about? I don't care about any of this stuff. And I was trying real hard to be disassociated, detached, I guess, from all of politics, trying as hard as I could to walk the line, being nice to everybody.
Yeah.
And homie, I said off the cuff, nah, man, I'm not voting for Obama. You kidding me? Oh, you're a racist. Right away.
It's a trap.
Away, first year. Like, oh, man, you're a racist.
You cannot talk about in school. You cannot talk about religion. You cannot talk about politics.
I tried not to. It was like, dude, I don't know. I'm not voting. He's a maniac. If I would vote for anyone, I would vote for Ron Paul. And that was 2008. You know, I'm pro-freedom. I like freedom.
Right.
I was wanting Ron Paul back then. And Ron Paul's been very critical of Trump lately, too. Basically for empire building. But Trump's doing the best he can. He's a deal maker.
That's right. That's right. And Ron Paul was never a deal maker. Ron Paul was
Dr. No, man. He was Dr. No.
That's right.
He's like, That's why I liked him.
That's right. That's it's similar to Bernie Sanders. Well, Bernie Sanders ended up caving in the end, but still.
Bernie Sanders is a complete sellout. You know, it was kind of cool to support him, I guess, this past election. I did not support him at all, though, because I saw right through it. And he rolled over so hard to Hill Dog, even though Hill Dog stole the nomination. Bernie should have been the candidate. Yeah. Bernie should have been. He won the nomination, and they didn't let him have it.
Yeah, they dipped him out of it.
That's how corrupt that was.
That was sickening. I'm surprised more people didn't flip as a result of that. And I think the primary reason why they haven't flipped into absolute disgust is because basically their whole ideology is redistribution of wealth, mandated by the state.
What do you think? I think now they're finally just going to throw Hill Dog under the bus since she lost that one in a landslide. It was a landslide. Look, all the crazy-ass illegal voting that went on might have given her a slight edge in the popular vote. But my God, you're talking about dead people. You're talking about illegals. You're talking about people voting multiple times, getting bussed around. It's insane, the kind of stuff that they did to try to win that election for Hill Dog, and Trump still won. That's how hardcore.
It's a miracle. It's a miracle. It really is.
Well, I was pushing for it pretty hard, and I'm doing well because of it. You know, you got the old tax breaks, you got the raise going in there, you got the bonuses.
That's right. Yeah, me too, man.
It's nice, dude.
After this,
we had a Christmas party for the first time ever. I was like, all right.
I will basically be able to pay off my student loans as a result of this. I will no longer be an indentured servant.
Woo! How awesome is that? And dude, like I say,
incredible. I never thought that was going to happen. I thought I'd be paying those things off until the day I died. Really.
How nice is it, dude? And if people don't fully understand that, they're probably just not working. If people are working, they understand it. And they'll probably, I mean, I think Trump is going to go on the next 4 as well. I'll reelect him in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
You know, like that, son.
I expect total shenanigans. And the primary reason I expect it is because nationalism is considered a threat to
what? Because we love to be able to have a chance.
Well, they want cheap labor. They want cheap labor. They want to be able to also skirt around tax laws. And this is the incredible duplicity of liberal doublethink. Like doublethink is being able to believe 2 completely oppositional ideas at the same time. And
we are in 1984. We are in 1984.
I mean, so many liberals have these completely diametrically opposed ideas, and they're completely fine with them. They see nothing wrong with it. And you know, if you are for globalism, which a lot of them are because they read garbage like op-eds out of the New York Times and believe it wholeheartedly in the Washington Post and all this crap, And they see nothing wrong with globalism, and they see nothing wrong with redistribution of wealth. Well, they should automatically, alarm bells should be going off. If you subscribe to globalism and the redistribution of wealth, what's to prevent international corporations from skirting around the law and not being taxed? Just moving their headquarters to another country.
That's right. That's what they've done. And Trump's saying we ain't having that anymore. No more. And that's exactly redistribution of wealth. But what wealth? The only redistribution that's going on has been with the middle class and the people that are working their asses off, trying as hard as they can. You need to redistribute Hill Dog's wealth. How about that? Can we do that?
That's right. If you have a globalist policy, you will never be able to you'll never be able to effectively redistribute wealth. You'll never be able to take it from the so-called 1% and give it to the 99% in order to boost the economy. That's what they think. That'll never happen. That'll never happen. They'll just move their money. They'll move it from country to country to country just to avoid the taxes.
If you look at how lucky we are to be where we are, what we're doing, and just to be fighting, we're lucky. We are the real 1%. And that's what they're talking about. They're talking about taking it from us. Look, man, we're scrapping as hard as we can.
Yeah, they want to redistribute wealth basically from the middle class to the upper 1% in order to basically garner additional rule. Additional power over people.
I say what you should do. What you should do is take all of Hillary's money from the Clinton Foundation, which is a slush fund, and go ahead and redistribute that.
Well, that would be against the law. You can't just target somebody because of their politics.
What? Because they illegally stole all the money from Haiti?
Well, she should go to jail for that. Like she should be prosecuted in some way because that's criminal. It violates a lot of laws.
She set up a foundation to help Haiti out.
That's right.
And instead didn't do anything like that and took all the money.
That's right. But she won't be prosecuted because, after all, who would prosecute her? What prosecutor would go after her?
Well, you get another Arkansas.
Oh,
right. You get another Arkansas on your hands.
These people are above the law. It really is like a banana republic.
We'll take care of that real quick. Oh my Lord. I'm happy. And back in my last year of teaching, when I knew they weren't going to renew my contract for that year either, what did I do? I stuck it out and I taught the kids best I could and did a good job best I could, and tried to, help them out and be nice to them best I could. And the lady that was there, that was like the co-teacher, that would show up for maybe half the class most of the time, really thought she was concerned about people. You should just pass her. Just pass her. Like, look, she doesn't know anything. What are you talking about? Like,
well,
this is the great. And not only that,
doesn't know anything.
Let me finish that.
The truth of the matter is, if it was something like algebra, she'll probably never use it. And that's the sad truth.
I don't know. I used it the other day, so.
The vast majority of people will never use it.
I used it the other day. I created a variable and made a little equation and made sure I knew what I was doing. So, whatever.
Most people will never see a real-life quadratic formula after high school. They will never see it.
No. Really, you should, though. If we're actually going to the next dimension and actually moving forward, you should see these things later in life. You should.
We're a service-level economy. The only thing we're producing is waiters and waitresses. Well,
that's the way they want it to be. I think we can turn it around. I think we can turn that around. Create a lot of. I really think we can. The other part of where I was going though with that previous story was because my contract wasn't getting renewed. This lady's like, "Oh, what are you gonna do? Holy crap! You need to find." You want to apply to this school, that school, this school? This is my first year teaching Common Core, by the way. Yeah. Common Core, oh my God, what a joke. In my first year teaching that, and I was like, nah, man, look, it's all right. No, sweetheart, I'll just go back on my engineering degree and do the best I can. And I landed this one drawing up bridge beam designs. thanks Disa for the good recommendation, and thanks to Vic for letting me know it was there. Like, man, I'll do, whatever. I just need a job. Hey, man. And I got on there, and it's been good ever since, dude. I haven't had a problem. The company is great. And since the Trump election, we've had raises and bonuses. First Christmas party ever, like I said. We've had all sorts. I mean, it's just amazing what's going on. And I don't see how you could hate it. How can you hate that? God, he's trying to help everybody. The lowest black unemployment ever? There you go, man. What the hell? You think this guy's a racist? No, he's trying to help everyone.
Well, they will do anything to avoid mentally. They'll do mental gymnastics in order to avoid giving him any credit. And of course, I'm sure it's something they're thinking something along the lines of, well, it's Obama's policies that are doing it. Duh. I'm sure it's some of those kinds of gymnastics. I'm sure.
Obama's the one making this recovery possible. That's a good joke, man. Obama was trying to keep the boot on the neck. He was trying to increase the pressure. You kidding me?
Yep.
He was the imam in chief, destabilizing all these countries and releasing the caliphate. That's what Obama was doing.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty obvious. It's pretty obvious when you look at the Syrian civil war very closely, when you look at it with a microscope, to see that the Obama administration really, really facilitated the war in Libya and the war in Syria. Like, Absolutely. They were directly behind it, and so were the Saudis, and so were the Turks. And a large part of it is due to Iran. But yeah, like these guys are in no small part systematically behind Salafism.
Oh, you're absolutely right. I'm searching up some. They might be giants. Istanbul, Constantinople. I'm gonna play that later on. I've got to. But we had the Imam in Chief. We had Obama for 8 years, and people thought it was cool because he was black, supposedly. Who knows? I really don't think he was from America. I think he was from Kenya. I don't know. I'm not sure. I still haven't seen a good birth certificate.
I don't know. I mean, it wasn't politically relevant, I guess. Like, people were going to have it either way. It was going to be shoved down our throats whether or not he was or wasn't. We would have bent the law. People were so...
They tried to pull it twice. Old Hill Dog tried to pull it. You know? I'm a woman, woman. I mean, it's over and over. Yeah. The first woman president? Woman. Like, come on.
That's right.
Give me a...
Like, that's the only thing that matters.
Like, no. Do you know what you're doing? You're a maniac. You're a criminal. You're the first criminal president?
Oh
wait, no, the second or third or fourth.
Your average Joe American, a lot of them, many of them, are so vapid that that's the only thing of any importance. The politics don't matter. What they have to say matters. The history of how they vote doesn't matter. Nothing matters except their identity.
Yeah, it's virtue signaling, basically. I voted for a woman, so therefore I'm good. And they want another like on Facebook or something. It's like, Dude, really? Come on, man. What is she gonna do to you? What is she gonna do to everybody? And I have directly felt the effect of a Trump presidency, and I'm okay with it. It's been nothing but good stuff. You know? And I fought for it pretty hard.
Yeah.
I was going around telling everybody, hey, man, we need this guy in. I know it seems like it's a crazy-ass thing, but we need him.
That's right.
And I'm a Rand Paul fan. I like Rand Paul and Ron Paul. You know, I was a Ron Paul fan back in 2008. Rand Paul now. He's the best senator we got. And what's happened? The attacks on everybody. Oh, my God. Rand Paul's neighbor randomly came up and hit him from behind while he was mowing the lawn. And by the way, what other senators mow their own lawn? Huh?
Yeah.
Who does that? Yeah. Right? None of them, probably.
Supposedly that was, I don't know the full backstory, but supposedly it was maybe loosely politically motivated. It was some story about hedges or trees or something like he had some trees. There's an argument about basically.
Apparently they're bickering back and forth about how they keep their lawn up, and then while he was mowing the grass, the guy like attacks him from behind, breaks ribs, has like a punctured lung too. I mean, it's insane what this guy did.
That's right.
I mean, it wasn't even a straight up fight either. It's like, dude, you
just sucker punch.
Yeah, you hit somebody from behind. What are you doing, man? What the hell? I mean, I could see a straight up fight, but don't one that you agree to. There's no honor in hitting someone from behind and breaking their ribs and stuff. That's absurd. And you got Rand Paul, our best senator, in my mind, our best senator. I don't know about you. You still there?
Yeah.
Okay. I think he's our best senator as far as voices of reason go. Yeah. And he gets attacked from behind. Then you got this other thing at the baseball practice where he was dodging bullets. Scalise gets hit, and thank God he's back. The Republican, baseball or softball practice, guy shoots it up.
Yeah.
And then recently you got the train. The Republican train was going through. Yeah. There's a dump truck parked on the rails there on an attempt to derail it or something. What the hell is all this stuff? What's going on? Are they they actively doing something, trying to kill some of our guys? I don't know.
I don't know. Who knows? I mean, the whole dump truck thing, maybe that's a real conspiracy to do something, or maybe not. I mean, that, to be honest, that kind of thing happens all the time, where truck just happened to sit in the middle of the railroad tracks and get hit. It's rare that it actually derails a train. Like, it would have to be some pretty serious impact in order to derail the train.
Well, I see a lot of symbolism in it too. I mean, isn't the Democratic Party pretty much a garbage truck going down, a dump truck? And isn't the Trump train rolling down the tracks, and they're trying as hard as they can to stop it? I see a lot of symbolism there. I don't know. I
don't know. I think if there was an actual attack on, it would look more like that baseball game event.
I think it was a small little hint, kind of like the pillow over the face when they Scalia, when they did that one, like the pillow over the face. It's like, hey, you're gonna be sleeping with the fishes. It's like one of those. It's like some gangster ass shit.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
At least, I mean, I think a lot of them are angry enough. They're delusional enough. They're capable of anything, really. They will stop at nothing because the belief systems are different, and to them, the stakes are high enough. They're willing to do anything. The belief systems and the value systems.
Well, I think that's completely crazy, but also, and I've been listening to the show, and by the show I mean the Alex Jones show, of course. I listen to the show, all right? I sit there at a computer in my job. What else am I going to do other than listen to the show? I draw up the bridge beam designs, and and while that's going on, I'm listening to the show in the background, and Alex makes some very good points, and he keeps me pretty much aware of a lot of things going on.
Yeah.
And they have this caller named Zach that calls in now and then, and he said that Minneapolis might be a target for some chicanery, some shenanigans going on for the Super Bowl, which honestly I think there's so much security there that that's not going to happen, because there's no way. But at the same time, if it does happen, I think it's nothing short of a stand down and a false flag to make Trump look bad. And especially, there's a team called the Patriots that are in the Super Bowl. So, I don't know.
Well, I mean, I don't know. You're talking about a place that, it has a huge Somali Muslim population. There's a lot of hatred towards.
We love our Somalis. We love our Muslims. Oh, they're so good. Oh, they're so sweet.
I'm sure there is a disproportionate amount of Salafism in that community. So yeah, there's no telling, really.
You've seen the Mall of America.
Yeah,
Have you
I've heard
seen
about it.
Have you seen the video of that?
No.
Good God, it does, man.
No.
It's crazy. It's crazy. What else was I had? I did have a bunch of crazy ass leftists asking me to sign petitions almost every other week at when I was teaching high school.
Yeah.
And they're insane, man. They want funds for this and funds for that and funds for that.
Yeah.
And oh, it'll help you out, you know. You'll be better off. You need to sign on. And these people are crazy. And the girl that said, hey, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Oh my God! I bet she could not find another job if she got her contract cut. I bet she couldn't do anything else.
Now, it's really weird to me how people become so gullible for the overly saccharine. Like, all you have to do is make something sound sweet and good, and people will just jump right in without a second thought.
Oh, just sugarcoat it, baby. Just sugarcoat it, baby. That's all you gotta do. And these people that would come in, they're crazy. They're not even leftists. They're just off the meter. And what they would do is they would try to get you to sign on so that more government funding would come in. Guess who that comes from? It comes from the taxpayers. It comes from the taxpayers that can't afford to even send their kids to public school. Good God, when you call up and you don't get a parent, you get a grandparent or the kid themselves. You know, what are you going to do? You're not going to tell the parents to do much of any parenting because they're not doing any. They're glad the school is in session because they get to send their kid off and they don't have to look after them.
That's right.
And what they should be doing during these snow days is explaining that, hey, look, it's not global warming. In fact, humans don't have too much of an effect unless they're crazy-ass pollutants. We have clean coal, by the way, clean. That doesn't burn like in China where they do whatever the hell they want and it just clogs up the sky. We have clean coal, but climate change exists. Yes, the earth gets hotter and colder and hotter and colder. It happens in cycles. It happens all the time. Mostly it's driven by the sun, believe it or not.
Yeah, I mean, in general, solar radiative output has been pretty constant, and yeah, it is heavily influenced by the sun. But I mean, you know, obviously, the more methane or CO2 that you put in the atmosphere, the more things will get wonky, and the more things will in general heat up.
Well, it depends.
Weather is not the same thing as climate.
It depends.
What I don't like the idea of having a supranational government that imposes taxes on people in order to curb global warming. I think that's a horrible idea.
Fist bump.
To be honest, I think the only viable solution to global warming at this point is not curbing emissions. It's to monetize harvesting CO2 in the atmosphere. That's the only solution.
Hey,
it's
here's my solution.
Here, you have a resource. You have a large resource of something, and try to make something out of it.
Here's my solution. We do what we do. We burn it clean, just the way we do it. Everything's good, and we use every resource that we have, all of it. And China can do what they want to do over there and clog up the sky. Whatever they want to do, that's their thing. Fuck them. All right, that's my solution, and we just chill over here and just keep burning all the clean coal and all of our good energy, and we keep making more energy instead of black shelving it and making it where nobody can ever see it again. There is free flowing, pure, perpetual motion machines, all of it, man. There's things are out there, and we are not allowed to use it because somebody has some kind of monopoly on something or some kind of protection. And it's been held back. It's been held back, just like hemp.
Thermodynamically, there's no such thing as a free lunch. You physically cannot get free energy out of nothing. does not exist.
Well, okay, but the energy's already there. Here's my argument. The energy's already there, right? The tides come in and out. The wind blows. Everything happens. The sun shines.
Sure.
Come on, man. It's there. It's being.
Yeah,
it's there.
Yeah, I agree.
Harvest
I
it.
mean,
Harvest it all.
Yeah, you have to develop the systems to implement wind power and solar power and blah blah blah. The rules are very much about solar power and wind power.
Yeah, they seem to like it. That's my other argument. What the hell's wrong with you holding this back? Well, these people get this kind of benefit.
I mean, I like to think about some things in terms of a geostrategic perspective. If you are reliant on fossil fuels, that means that you can bend politically to someone else's will. You can bend politically to Saudi will. If they want to fuck you over, just like they did in the 70s, for some political reason, they can turn off the spigot.
Yes.
You want to operate independent of others, and I think there's a good strategic reason to implement things like solar and wind. I really do. Over things like petroleum and coal and whatever.
It's all there, man. Good harvesting.
And it's not because necessarily an environmental reason. It's because of a strategic reason.
Right. That's what keeps these big companies holding everyone else back because of big oil and everything else. Look, strategic harvesting. All this stuff happens every day. It's not harvested. The tide comes in. It goes out. The sun shines. The wind blows. It's free energy. It's all there. But God forbid. I mean, I think if you collect rainwater these days, you might be fined or something. I don't know.
That's true. Well, they don't even want you putting energy back in the grid. It's troublesome for them. But I think what really could happen is that you free up the regulations to the point where somebody can make a profit by dumping energy back to the grid. And there are some other technical problems with things like solar. I mean, solar only works at certain times of the day.
No, I got to tell you that. No, I got to stop you there. Hold up. The CRC, the Rec Center at Georgia Tech, operates on solar, and it never shuts down. Power outage is still on. They have it. They have it.
That's because they have batteries.
The technology's there. It's there.
They're storing energy and probably sulfur-based batteries.
Of course they are. Yeah, they're storing all of it. They're harvesting it. That's all it is, man. That thing never shuts down. It doesn't require anything. Man, it's there. It's there. It's there.
One of the primary, I guess what I'm getting at is that one of the primary hang-ups, and Elon Musk has touched on this, one of the primary hang-ups is energy storage.
Mm-hmm.
It's not mature enough yet.
When I say harvest, I'm trying to store the energy that's going on all the time. So you're talking energy storage is not to the level. Go ahead.
That's right. Yeah, it's not to where it should be. You're using deep cycle, basically car batteries to store your energy. And of course, when they finally go bad, then disposing those is it's often more trouble than it's worth. And if you talk to an environmentalist, it's a bad deal. And lithium-ion batteries are pretty expensive, and there's not a good energy storage solution. And for a long time, people were thinking about, graphene is going to be the thing. It's going to be the holy grail of energy storage. And maybe it will be, but I think the manufacturing capability isn't there yet.
But it's still happening every day. The energy is still being produced every day, regardless. So even if you can't store it very long, why can't we, use what's given to us? Seems like it,
Yeah, it would be. I think it's better. I think better than having natural gas power plants or coal-fired power plants or gas-fired power plants.
I wouldn't mind those either. I say use it all. Use all of it. If you use everything, wouldn't the price drop dramatically to almost free? If you're using everything.
Right. I think if you set things up in the way that that Edison intended, yeah, you will. You'll experience dramatic price drops. That they wanted to have. The goal was to have energy be so cheap that any person could afford it, and that's in the free in a free market. That's very difficult to do.
No, it's not in the free market. Good God, there's so many options, and then they have to drop their prices because there's so many options, and the free market creates a plethora of things. I mean, you could pick from anything, and there it is.
Yeah, as long as you have enough supply.
Of course, and you do. I think we do.
Yeah, and it's not just about supply; it's about also logistics. Like you have to be able to run wires out to rural areas, right? Like no corporation is gonna do it because it's not profitable.
Maybe no. I think you have plants here and there for various different things. I mean, if it's a rural area, but you got a few people there, yeah, go ahead and put something there.
Well, it's the same reason why ISPs don't run out to butt nowhere. It's because you don't make any profit by laying fiber out in the middle of nowhere. It's a massive expense with very little return on investment.
Return on invest. See, and then we're going back to this controlling money system. Why don't we just help people at some point, but not to the point where like we don't help the people that are the stabbers, basically. Like, why don't we just help humanity to a degree to where they can do things? I mean, humans are amazing people. I just feel like we're being held back.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even a charity would have a difficult time. I mean, number one, creating the infrastructure that we're talking about, and also sustaining it. That would be a hell of a thing for any charity to do. I mean, you could do it in some places, but to do it all over would not be feasible.
I did my community service over at Coastal Pet Rescue. Awesome place. And man, I just wonder how they get paid, or who pays them, or what happens with that, because they are a non-profit.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I think a lot of it is it's wealthy white women.
You think?
I guarantee you.
I think the people working there were not wealthy white women. They were struggling and doing the best they could because they love the animals.
Yeah.
That's the people I saw there.
I think that's predominantly what it is.
The people I saw there were doing the best they could, and they loved the animals, man. They were not, anything like some highfalutin or special. They were, every day. It was heart and soul. There was a lot of heart, a lot of soul.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. You got the Super Bowl coming up. What are your predictions? America, red, white, and blue. Is Janet Jackson? Is she back? She gonna slip a titty?
My only prediction is that it will be full of SJW shit.
Social justice warrior.
Yeah, they will try and push political agendas. That is my only prediction.
Man, should I not even watch the ads?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
I usually like the only commercials. The only commercials I like are Super Bowl commercials. I don't like the Jeopardy commercials because a bunch of pills and big pharma trying to get people hooked on these pills that'll cause death, and they're trying to kill all the old people. It's just like, damn it, man! Why am I watching that Jeopardy show? I love Jeopardy. No, did you see the Jeopardy where they got stumped on the damn in the NFL category? Did you see that one? No, it was the other night. They didn't know a single question. I ran the category. I was like, oh my God, these people are morons. They're not morons. They're very smart. Just not on the NFL.
Yeah, or any sports. I mean, I've turned off the TV. I don't watch sports.
If you're a little bit intelligent, you probably don't watch the NFL. To be honest with you, let's go ahead and put it that way. I watch football, and I will admit I'm a moron. Whatever. I like it.
Well, I mean, I'm sure that there are a lot of smart people that do watch it. I mean, even somebody like Chomsky would say something along the lines of, Chomsky despises that sort of stuff, but he'll say, it'll really impress you the things that people will say that, in terms of, how much they can recite the trivia, and when they talk about strategy, football strategy, or just in general any kind of sports strategy.
Oh, yeah, dude. Move your guys here and there, yeah.
What he gets pissed off at is because it's a distraction from all the other things, from all the really important things that are going on in the world.
All right, so here's what's really going on. Let's move our guys here and there in the real world,
Yeah, basically his argument is that if people concentrated as much on football as they did on problems in the real world, the world would look really different.
Absolutely.
That's basically what his assertion is. And maybe that's true, maybe it's not. I don't know. I mean, but at the same time, that's it's a leisure activity, right? It's
something for fun. It should be.
Yeah.
How are they getting paid millions to throw a ball around? I don't know.
Oh, I can't stand that.
You're throwing a ball around. You're doing nothing. I mean, it's cool. It looks good. Everything's pretty cool. I like the game. I like the sport. You're getting paid how much?
Yeah. Well, they're entertainers.
Throw a ball, or it's like a monkey jumping around like in the circus or something. Barnum and Bailey.
I mean, it reminds me, honestly, it reminds me a lot of ancient Rome. It really does.
The Colosseum.
Yeah. It really does. You've basically got entertainers running around to keep the masses pacified.
Good God. That's awful. I like to watch it though. I think it's fun, but I mean, I don't see any need to be giving them $1 million or so.
Yeah. Well, it's a pacification campaign and it's distraction, and I think that's what Chomsky's argument is that it's a self-inflicted pacification and distraction campaign.
Well, some people will only watch it for the commercials, which is what I was going towards. Like, man, I don't want to watch it for the commercials. What I want to watch it for is the game. But the commercials on other shows, like Jeopardy, drive me crazy. I was talking to you about this yesterday, I think, when I was out there. Like, man, commercials are crazy. You have to fast forward through. If you don't, like, kind of come in about 7 minutes late and then start it from the beginning and fast forward through the commercials, you're going to have a bad time watching Jeopardy, watching all these ads with these pills that they're trying to kill the old people, basically, because all the side effects are the same as the damn... I mean, the side effect is death, basically. So, the hell's going on? Why would you want to buy all this? And these are the big advertisers for all the shows that are going on? Why in the hell are these the big advertisers?
Well, people in that demographic have problems that are equitable to death. They really do. I mean, they are the victims of a century's worth of poor nutrition.
This is why I love to have you on that demographic, because who is able to sit around and watch TV shows? That's it.
Right.
The only ones. Yeah, the older people or the SJWs, one or the other. That's about it. That's all that can sit around and watch TV shows. Nobody else has time for that shit. Nobody. And so I'll watch the TV show, the Jeopardy, because I like it. It's good questions. A lot of them are very liberal oriented sometimes, but I spent a good amount of time in school and teaching school, so I do pretty good on it. So I'll watch it, and it's insane. When the commercials come through, I'm sitting there like, don't ever take that pill. Don't ever do that. Please don't do that. This commercial's bad.
Well,
that commercial's bad. And I just have to fast forward. Like, I just shut down mentally. I'm like, oh, this is so awful. I shut down mentally. I'm like, oh, this is terrible. What am I doing watching this? But no, the show is good, but the commercials, no, thank you.
Yeah. It's unfortunate that generation was so lost to to a number of things. I mean, the first thing that they were lost to was a general ignorance of nutrition that would have enabled them to skirt by all the problems that they have late in life, like cancer and heart disease.
Well, let me tell you, this is going to be real personal, and I don't even know if I should still be recording with this one, but I'm going to anyway. It's been on my mind. It's been an issue for me. When I was a little kid, right, my mom would go and she'd get these shots, so-called vaccinations for all the pollen and allergies that she had and whatnot. I've told you this. I've told you this before, I think. And now, you know, she's up in her 60s, I guess. Still looks good, pretty healthy, everything good. But she has these allergies all the damn time. Always sniffling, always something going on, something crazy. And it's like, we had all these shots, right? So what the hell's going on? I think they perpetuate this stuff. They make it where you're always on something. It's like it's on purpose, you know? And me as a kid, right? When I was born...
Or I mean, you know, there might be something to it, or it's just the fact that the shots just aren't doing anything. I mean, you know, when I was in that area, when I was in Florida, I had severe allergic rhinitis literally every day. And then when I finally moved out of the area, I didn't have it anymore. And the primary reason for that, I think, was mold. And it was happening to me in Savannah, too.
Oh, yeah. The black mold, that's an issue. I've got to throw out my shower curtain pretty soon. It's crazy. But, like, even me as a kid, right, I had some vaccines, but the vaccine schedule these days is off the meter. I mean, I had, like, an MMR or whatever right before, like, when I was in 6th grade going to 7th grade, some kind of MMR vaccine or whatever, the first round of it, and you have to do it in 6th grade or whatever. So I did it, and I felt real weird after it. I almost blacked out right there. And I had never had any issues, never passed out or anything. And then I had this issue with passing out all, like, off and on throughout high school. You remember that? Yeah. And, dude, I mean, and it happened a few times in 8th grade, too.
Yeah.
I never had any issue with that until I got that shot. So what the hell is that? What the hell does that say?
Well, you know, I mean, it could just be coincidence, you know, that, you know, I mean, just that. Make sure you don't fall into the post hoc ergo propter hoc fallacy, which is
I'm not going to.
That's just fancy talk for saying this happened after this, therefore this is the cause of this.
Exactly right. I'm not, and I'm never going to be a walking victim or anything like that. You know that. I don't. I always just keep swinging, dude. I keep fighting, whatever. But man, it's crazy, the amount of shots that my mom was taking, and who knows what they were jacking her up with or whatever they were doing. I mean, it's like, and she sniffles more than she has ever sniffled. I mean, it's insane. She's always got something going on with her nose, her sinuses, something going on. And
I'm not surprised. I mean, in that region, man, it's freaking awful.
And that drives me crazy because I'm pretty good, healthy up there. And, you know, I've never had, every now and then I'll get, you know, something will go on and I'll hit, what do I do to fix it? I do the silver bullet, you know, the some of Alex Jones products. Good God, I'm plugging a product. Well, I'm not, but I just, it helps me out. I mean, it works.
Kathleen said something that stuck with me. She used to clean houses, and the people that she used to work with, she said, people that she used to work with before they were cleaning houses, they never had any allergies. And she said after they started messing with these cleaning products, they had significant allergies to everything.
Well,
there's something to that.
When you get around it, for the first time, it'll knock you. It seems like.
Yeah, it's like, okay, so you're around. You never had any allergies, despite living in a country like Brazil, and despite living in, you know, even in say for example in poverty in Brazil, where you might be around like dust and mold and all kinds of stuff, and then all of a sudden you start using all these cleaning products, and then it hits you. Something is working in a way that I think people aren't expecting.
Well, they've been talking about, like, if you put like a scenter or something in your house that is supposed to freshen up the scent or whatever. No, man, there's stuff in that stuff.
Yeah.
And then they got this eating Tide Pods. I don't know what the hell that's about. I've never eaten a Tide Pod. I don't plan on it. But Alex had a show. He had this guy on that chemically tested the Tide Pod.
Yeah.
There's so many chemicals in that. It's like it was off the screen. It was waving up and down.
I bet. You're not supposed to ingest those.
They had tests on the chemicals that were in the Tide Pods. Man, there's so many chemicals in there that, God, I mean, you probably shouldn't even be doing your laundry with it. That's what I'm saying. Like, to hell with eating it. I'm not saying eat it ever. No. I didn't even think that was a thing until recently. I guess somebody did that.
Well, usually my question is what happens to the materials in the Tide Pod after, when you're using them? Like, do they break down under high heat? A lot of things will break down under intense heat.
Well, I think that's the idea. It's supposed to just go in there and wash your clothes. And you just throw it in there, and you get the water in there. The water melts the thing off. Not melts, but, removes the covering. The stuff goes around, and it all mixes together. That's what I think happens.
Yeah, a lot of things will break down under water, or they're water soluble, and then they break down under heat, and a lot of things happen. So there's the design of the way something works, and then people go out and they shove it in their mouths, and then
Oh, dude, no.
Then they're surprised when you have cancer or something. It's almost like that scene from
Who the hell eats a Tide Pod?
It's almost like that scene from Family Guy when Mayor West goes and rolls around in the pool of radioactive waste. And the doc looks at him and says, "Mayor West, you have lymphoma. What the hell were you expecting?" I was going to gain superpowers.
Dude, Family Guy has predicted a lot of shit. I think, who is that? Seth Meyers? Is that the guy that makes it?
Yeah. No. Seth MacFarlane. Sorry.
MacFarlane. Yeah, there you go. MacFarlane. He pretty much knew everything that was going on. He didn't make any of it up. He just made it a big joke. That's pretty much Family Guy.
That's right.
And you would think it was funny, but it was so serious because it's actually happening. You're like, oh God, what the hell?
Yeah.
Why is this happening?
It's bizarre how often satire reflects reality.
No, nobody can make it up, dude. Nobody can do this. I can't make any of this up. I'm not talking from bullshitting. This is happening, dude.
Family Guy, South Park does it all the time. All the time. Simpsons, South Park, or The Onion. The Onion. It's crazy how often The Onion becomes a reality.
Yeah. You think you're reading The Onion sometimes, but it's like Fox News. Like, oh, yeah. God. Okay. All right. I guess we're all right. It's insane. It shouldn't be funny, though. I mean, people should be like, hey, let's stop it. But they don't. It just keeps happening. I don't know.
Well, I think that they're touching on something about. I think they're touching on something psychological. Like they're touching on people's crazy belief systems and like how far people will take their own belief systems. And I think that's why they can make good satire.
It's not satire, though. It's true.
Well, that's what satire is. Satire is basically where you make fun of
complete irony
on the world through humor.
Complete irony. Isn't that ironic? Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is. Yeah, a lot of it becomes irony.
God, I don't know, man. That's just tough. I think we can turn it around somehow or another, but it's gonna be hard.
Well, it's difficult when people are kept from facts, like they're kept from reality, like they're deliberately moved away from reality, and that's how you wind up with bad situations, right? It's
Well,
where people
You
where
move
people
away
are
from reality. Some people intentionally move away from reality because it's so bad, and then they watch these fictional shows and get a good laugh. But these fictional shows are based on fact, and that's how I get a lot of this. I watch science fiction movies, and dude, I think a lot of that stuff is there already. It's already there.
Yeah.
And they're not making it up. I don't think anyone can make it up because I can't. I can't just spin off a crazy ass story. Maybe I could, but it wouldn't be as good as the real stuff. And what you do is you take the real stuff. Maybe you spin off a little bit, but I think it's already happening.
Maybe. I mean, people like Gene Roddenberry were pretty good about it, and you had a lot of physicists in the 20th century that were able to think about things like ring worlds and spherical worlds and Dyson spheres and Dyson rings and all this sort of stuff. They didn't ever existed, but
Halo?
they were able to think those things up.
Halo?
Exactly. Halo was a Dyson ring. That's exactly right. Yeah.
You think that doesn't exist?
I don't know.
I think it does.
We thought Tabby Star, or a lot of people were hoping Tabby Star was going to wind up to be just that. It was going to be a Dyson sphere, and of course, now they know it's not. But that's another thing. It's kind of telling that we haven't.
I think it exists.
It's indicative of something that we haven't discovered extraterrestrial intelligence.
I think
like
we
the
have.
Fact that we haven't seen it yet means something.
I think we have. I don't think they can make it up. I think it's already there.
Maybe it's like in Stellaris, where they're infiltrating and then infiltrating to turn us into some sort of colony or something. Who knows?
Man, no, I don't know about all that. I just think it's out there. I think we have knowledge of it. It's just not given to the common folk.
Yeah.
The plebs or whatever they want to call us, The little guys. They don't tell us this stuff, but I think it's there.
I don't know. I really don't. I think if it's out there, it's going to be, if we do find it, it's going to be so far away that we'll never be able to interact with it.
I think I might be the only one that aliens might want to talk to. They sure as shit don't want to talk to anybody on this earth. And if I was around this earth, kind of like watching it, hell no, I wouldn't talk to them. I'd just go back to my home planet. Like, all right, man, y'all are crazy. Y'all still got to get it figured out, obviously. Let's move on.
Yeah.
Let's move on. That's what I would...
They need a reason, right? Like, I mean, it's... You have to have some rationale. And to be honest, I think one of two things could happen. Either they can learn something from us, or they could see us as an eventual threat and just knock us out early. I think those are the two most likely scenarios.
I don't think so. No, I think they're high intelligence. If you're high intelligence, you're not going to just destroy something. If you're high intelligence, you're watching it. Like,
sure,
hey,
they could try to. I mean, they would watch us in order to probably extract whatever they can from us until we're a threat. And at that point,
we're not going to threaten. No, that's the thing. We should not threaten. If we become high enough intelligence, we should know that not to threaten and to interact nicely. And they're basically watching us to see, hey, are they going to blow themselves up? Or are they going to get to the next level? Let's see what happens. That's what's going on. They're watching us like, hey, are they just going to kill themselves? Or because some people are completely controlled by greed and want to go to Satanism and jack off in the coffin or whatever they do. Or do they want to actually become something greater and ascend into the mind and the thoughts, and maybe they can be a part of our civilization, maybe. And that's where we are right now. I think we're fighting an epic battle trying to get to the next level, and there's a lot of people that aren't even close to my level of thinking yet, and I'm a friggin' moron. So that's where I think we are.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it could be more likely that the life that we discover is, and a lot of people have, this is a very in vogue kind of idea, but a lot of people think that it's going to be automated life.
Oh, you're talking about the technocrats.
Kind of, yeah. It's like, before a civilization would ever settle on a planet, they send a series of robots that can survive.
Oh, absolutely. We're trying to send some drones everywhere right now, like something that can look around.
We would more likely discover drones. We would more likely find drones.
I've never seen any live video from any of these rovers. It'd be nice to see some, wouldn't it? Hey, guess why we haven't seen any of these live videos from any of these rovers? Guess what? There's something out there they don't want us to see. That's what I think.
Maybe.
That's what I think, man.
I don't know.
But I would like for us to actually get together and go to the next level. But you do have people that are struggling so hard that have not even clean water or anything, not even running water, nothing. You got so many people on the earth that are on that level that it's still like, nope, not yet. And then people that will blow each other up and actually run into battle shooting at each other. So, as long as you still got that going on, I don't think we're there yet.
To be honest, I think that's always going to exist. I really do. I think no matter what, like.
You think the aliens shoot at each other? Man,
I'm sure.
I really don't.
I'm sure. Even, I mean, it should tell you enough.
Why can't we just get along? Can't we just get along, man?
No, it's not that easy. I mean, if you...
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Just look at the animal kingdom. I mean, we're clear. Humans are not the only things that fight.
We are borderline animal kingdom ourselves. Yeah, they kill each other and eat each other and go and destroy. Yeah, they do.
Right. Just look at wars between ant colonies.
I don't want to go and destroy. I don't want to do that though, man. I just want to. Can we make it work?
I think more often than not, I think organisms try to establish symbiosis when they can. But if necessary, they'll fight if there's enough disruption.
Is that they get along with the rhinos in the Congress?
Well, I mean, if you look, for example, if you look at how viruses interact with hosts, right? There's you can think of it as conflict initially. It's an upset, it's an imbalance. Things aren't happening properly, and then eventually, over a long enough time, a symbiosis kind of develops.
And then that's how it spreads, and it gets worse and worse until
it
kills you.
But initially, when there's disruption, you have conflict and combat.
Homie, that sounds like AIDS, and we need to get rid of that.
Well, I mean, eventually, given a long enough time frame, people will come to a symbiotic relationship with HIV.
No, no, dude.
They will. It's not the first virus that it's happened to. Like, the virus wants to get along with us. Think of it that way. The virus doesn't want our immune systems to attack it.
Well, the virus is evil, man. It's trying to kill us.
Well, no, it's not. It's not. I mean, of course, the virus isn't aware of what it's doing. The virus has no motivation. It has no agency of its own. But in the long term, like it wants to simply reproduce. That's what it wants to do. It doesn't want to be attacked by the body's immune system, and it doesn't want to kill its host. It certainly doesn't want to do that because then it.
Yes, it does. That's what it does, though. It kills its host.
Yeah, in the short term, but eventually the virus will eventually become part of a symbiotic relationship with its host.
I don't think so, man. Nuh-uh.
It will.
It can't work that way.
It does.
It cannot.
And, I mean, there are parts of our DNA that show that we encountered similar viruses in the past.
I will not live with the Skeksis. I will not live with the vultures. There's no way. No way. You can squat on me all you want to, and I'll keep slapping you off and getting you out of it. You know, nuh-uh, man. There's no way. No way. I'll drop it. No way. I will not live with a virus.
Well, I mean, you live with a lot of viruses now. You just don't realize it.
Oh, I mean, I probably do, but I will not live with this virus. Let's put it that way.
Right. Well, eventually something will happen where the virus maybe even provides a benefit for you rather than kill you.
No, you sound like you're presenting some kind of Hillary Clinton argument.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying the way that I'm talking about long-term evolution, the way that organisms interact with each other in the long term.
In the long term, you overcome it and you beat it, and you make sure that you're good against it.
Well, that's in the short term, long term. But in the long term, you know, eventually the virus.
What is the long term? How long?
Millions of years.
Oh,
over hundreds of thousands or millions of years. Eventually, the virus will become useful for you, and you will become useful for the virus. Keep in mind, the virus has no agency. It doesn't know good from ill. It doesn't know any of that. All it knows is that it needs to find something with ribosomes so that it can reproduce. That's all it knows.
I gotta go with a movie here. Have you ever seen Resident Evil?
Yeah.
Right? They got the T virus. And I think they've been doing this for a while now, actually throwing out these crazy things. Trying to see who's compatible with it, just like the Doom movie. And I've talked about this in a few of my chats. They basically see, is there one good soul who can actually mold with it and get together with it and be that ultimate person, right? Like Alice in the Resident Evil, or the guy in Doom that actually, yeah, man, we're good. John, I guess was his name. They put out this virus, the T virus. It kills everybody. Everybody dies. Everybody becomes a zombie, zombo machine, whatever. And that seems like it's pretty much happening too. They're trying as hard as they can to do it. It's nuts. That was not based on fiction. And that's why I say earlier, the science fiction movies are not fiction, they're fact. So they got the T virus, they throw it out there. This one girl, Alice, actually binds with it. And then they go and they arrest her real fast and tie her down. And then they keep trying to recreate her and make all these clones and drones and everything of her. And then they use her blood, and they're kind of trying to introduce the T virus to every other thing. Why? Because they're trying to live forever and be the perfect person, just like she is. Everything else. And she is in tune with it too. She knows. She can mentally see everything that they're... And they try to lock onto her the same way. Right back. And that same thing is happening all over the place right now. And... Alright, so you got Alice with the T virus, but she's melded to it. She's good. You got these people that will never have any chance of actually being a part of this thing, and they're in this war room basically discussing what's going on around a table, and they say, you know what, the world is going to end. Let's end it on our terms. So let's kill everybody and everything. Let's end the world.
Well, that's some the level of nihilism is probably about on par of how Europeans feel at the moment. It's some spectacular level of nihilism. I think rational people don't experience that level of nihilism.
I don't know if you've ever seen that movie, but that's what they say directly in the movie. I could pull up the clip. Dude, it's on YouTube, and what they say is, yeah, we're going to end the world on our terms, basically. It was Resident Evil Afterlife. Final chapter. No, it's final chapter. That's right. We're going to orchestrate the apocalypse. Here, I'm going to play it.
Yeah. I mean, I believe you. I just think that that level of nihilism is pathological.
Oh, yeah, dude, it's definitely. And that's the level of nihilism that's on everyone that's in government, man. These people are like that. These people are maniacs.
I don't know about everybody. I think a lot of people unfortunately, a lot of people in Europe are that way. And I think a lot of it maybe because of postmodernism. But, you know, I don't think everyone everywhere is like that.
Of course not. There is a strong resistance. We're fighting back pretty hard. Oh, I'm still trying to find it. It's taking me a while. I'm sorry.
You're fine.
Took me a little bit. What is it? The bioweapon scene? I propose that we end the world. There it is. Here you go. Here you go. Let me see if... I think that's loud enough. Is this fair use or not? I don't know.
You asked why I would turn against Umbrella, and I promised you an answer. Soon after the
Turn against
2000
Umbrella,
release,
right?
a secret file was uploaded to our data stream. It was a recording of a meeting of the Umbrella High Command, dated 17 months before the...
Yeah, hey, what's up? You there?
Hey. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Are you hearing what's coming back through? I don't know. I'm using the same speaker, so it's kind of weird.
I can't hear anything.
All right, let me play a little bit of this. It's a recording of a meeting of the Umbrella High Command dated 17 months before the viral outbreak occurred. I propose that we end the world is basically what they say. I'm not going to play it. Hell, I'm not going to leave you on the hanging that long. But it's basically 17 months before the viral outbreak occurred. They say the world's going to end, everything's in trouble. Let's end it on our terms, and let's be the ones that kind of hole up in the bunkers while everything goes down, and then we'll be the elites. That's pretty much what they said.
Yeah.
And I kind of see that possibly happening now. They're starting to do that because everything that they make breaks. Nothing works that they do. But now Trump is there, and we're trying to turn America back on, which is freedom, which is everything we're making. I mean, we test it. We want it to do well. It's going to work.
Mm-hmm.
And they tend to hate that. Like, no, tear everything down. But they don't understand that if you tear everything down and break everything, they're not going to have much to live on for very long. You know? When instead we could go to the stars. We could have the life extension. We could open up all of the avenues for hemp. We could open up all the avenues for advanced medicine that is not bullshit big pharma. And we could actually, you know, all the cures are out there, man. Everything's there.
I think you've got people that are on that level. I think Elon Musk is on that level. I do.
Yeah, he is. He is trying as hard as he can. He's saying, like, oh, God, I've been to these meetings. These guys are technocrats. They're trying to merge with machines and become like machines. And, you know, they're like got a God complex or something.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are like that.
Elon Musk, I think, is right. I think Elon Musk is trying as hard as he can to say, hey, no, let's turn back from this. Let's keep it human, pro-human, and pro-Americana, and let's go.
Yeah.
I think Elon Musk is a patriot.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell by the things that he says. Like, you can get to the motivation based on like how he words things. You know, the ideas that he wants to. The things that he wants to do, basically, like his goals. You can see by his goals exactly where his mind is.
Absolutely. He's trying to save the world. He's trying to help us. He got kind of deep into it and didn't realize that was where it was going. And then he took a sharp U-turn like, whoa, sweetheart, we aren't doing that. Unlike Bezos, who makes $1 billion a day. Makes $1 billion a day. Maybe every 2 days. Maybe every 2. Maybe I'm over-exaggerating there. No, I think every 2 days he makes $1 billion.
It's crazy.
Because he does the Amazon shipping. That's nuts.
And what's his agenda?
Exactly.
What's his agenda? His agenda is globalism.
That's right.
He is all about some fucking globalism.
That's right. He wants. At that point, and that's what I'm saying, and that's what you were saying earlier. You get to a point where money is not an issue anymore. What it is just a way to keep people under control, and you just dance around on them.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it is, and that's what he wants. I guess I don't know, man. I would never like that. I would never like to be intentionally keeping everyone down. I don't know anyone that would.
Well, he might not think of it in terms of keeping everyone down. In fact, he might believe quite the opposite.
If you're getting
he could just be, he could have some really naive beliefs. He could have some really, he could be naive. He could be nihilistic. But
if you're getting $1 billion every 2 days, go ahead and put it back in, man. Just put it back in. Send it back.
Well, maybe that's why he created Blue Origin, but I don't see Blue Origin being at least at the moment, a viable competitor to SpaceX.
No, I don't either. But they're doing different things. Like one's going to Mars and one's looking at the moon. So
yeah,
I think that's they're doing different things. So I don't really know enough about that to go into it. Although, if you know some, please tell me.
Yeah, I don't. I can't speak intelligently about what Blue Origin is trying to do.
You're a wealth of information, man. It's been fun chatting with you. God,
I appreciate that.
The World War II stuff, that was amazing. Oh, man. So, are you watching the stupid bowl tonight?
No, I got to do some work.
Some work? What the hell? It's Sunday. Even God took a day off.
Yeah, I needed to do it yesterday, but yesterday was Kathleen's birthday, and we went to, we did some things, and so I got to do some stuff today.
All right. You ever oh God, I don't know. You ever listen to Santos Bonacci or the Hermetic way of how the stars progress along the sky and how the sun comes and goes? Any of that kind of stuff? Basically, it's the solstices and the equinoxes that he talks about, and how the progression of the stars throughout that actually matches what's going on.
It sounds a lot like astrology.
It's close, but it works. He's real good. Santos Bonacci is the guy. He's got some YouTube videos. I fall off when he goes into Flat Earth, and I'm just like, no, dude, no. Because Flat Earth is a disinformation thing meant to keep you distracted from everything that's real.
Yeah, I've never heard anyone be serious about Flat Earth. Not even once.
It's meant to keep you distracted from things that are real, and it's meant to divide and conquer, like we were talking about earlier. It's meant to divide and conquer everyone and just destroy everyone's whole belief system, where there are some things that are real from the Hermetic system. But dude, you can't go to Flat Earth. No.
Yeah.
Because that is a divide technique that is planted there. It's planted there.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about a lot of so-called conspiracy theories,
Hold on. Conspiracy theory was made as a term to discredit anyone that said that it's not true what the government said.
That's right, but
you have
to be discerning in what you believe. Even be discerning in what the so-called mainstream or proof by authority figures, kind of espouse. You have to be discerning in all of it. And the problem is, once people for a lot of people, when they get to a point where they start swallowing a lot of red pills. So
Hold up.
They start believing in things that
You're right. And you said some red pills are not correct. You're right. And when you've been lied to so much by everybody, and you get to that point where you're like, damn, everybody's just lying to me. Everything I know is wrong. No, not everything you know is wrong. Just some things.
Right.
And you have to kind of...
Right. That's exactly right. You have to be discerning with it. And psychologists even point that out. They say people that swallow a whole lot of these red pills, they are then much more inclined to swallow more, even if they're wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, no matter what it is, you have, if it's something that's coming from the mainstream media or something that's coming from some internet site that you've never heard of and they're just saying some crazy stuff and you can't just believe it just because you've never heard it before. You know, you have to be discerning in what you believe. Like, and a lot of people can't understand why someone would just lie like that. And the fact of the matter is, a lot of people would just lie like that, just to get their jollies off. A lot of people are sociopaths. They will lie just to have something over you.
Good God.
Just to have some, just to feel contempt about another person.
That's some of the most powerful things.
Relate.
I don't relate to it because I don't even know. Really?
It's outside of anyone's frame of reference. Like, how could people be like that? And yet, there are a lot of people that are like that. They will throw that stuff over there just to feel superior to someone.
Well, one thing's 100. I'm genuine. I'm true. I'm saying exactly what I think, and I'm trying the best I can to do the best I can. I get that sense of genuine stuff from Alex. Every now and then, he can't put everything out because, I mean, he's got classified stuff. He's got people back in the background. Look, I understand. You know, it's up to us to put the pieces together.
Yeah.
I get it. But you can't say that he's some kind of shill or some kind of talking point or gatekeeper. He's not keeping anything. He's trying as hard as he can to put it out. And a lot of people tend to think he's some kind of gatekeeper. Like, no, man, it's up to you to learn the truth, sweetheart. Try the best you can to everything that he doesn't let out. Try to figure it out. Put the dots together yourself. You know, do some work.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, sometimes it's hard for me to take Alex seriously.
He's awesome. He's so fun.
He says a lot of stuff. Huh?
He's fun, though. I like it. He actually mixes it where it's fun, and it's still, God, we're fighting hard. But, hey, isn't it fun? It's like one of those. I enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean, I think some of the things that he says are true, but some things you have to take with a big grain of salt.
Oh, of course, dude. That's everything, isn't it? But at least, I think
that's right.
He's swinging at it, though. He's swinging at it more than a lot of people.
That's true. Yeah.
Hannity has finally gotten caught on. Tucker Carlson's trying the best he can. It's not, but Tucker Carlson tends to just laugh at the libtards too much, and I don't want to call them libtards. I call it the regressive left. But you don't get someone on and just start laughing at them and like joking around. Like, look, man, get someone else on or something. You can't just like laugh at people.
Yeah, it doesn't like.
It's not going to help the cause. It's going to move it backwards. Actually, it's going to make people hate you more. And
that's right.
What you need to do is talk
calling everybody an idiot. Both sides do that.
Yeah.
The left does that to the right, and the right does that to the left, and they both call each other idiots.
We can't do that.
Someone that's worth a damn in an argument doesn't call the other side an idiot. They try to see things from their perspective, and they try to tackle the differences in the belief system. And that's a very difficult thing to do. You basically have to win people over like a lawyer wins over a courtroom. It's not an easy task.
Well, that's right. And you can't, as soon as you start just laughing at someone and calling them an idiot, you've already lost them. You've already lost them. And they're going to go back the other way even harder. And it's like, man, that's not what I like to see. And Tucker Carlson, I think, does too much of that. I think he needs to actually, hey, what's your issue then?
Well, it's so banal.
A little more of that.
Just someone is an idiot. You know? I mean, most people, the difference in mindset is probably along the lines of the things that they've been exposed to. But I tell you, to red pill someone adequately, especially someone that's really arrogant, oftentimes it's an awful lot of work and it's an awful lot of trouble.
It's hard.
And you know, the people that you're trying to red pill, they're gonna, especially when you confront them with something that they don't want to believe, they're gonna get very nasty towards you. They're gonna call you an idiot. They're gonna get aggressive. They're gonna get defensive. They're gonna get aggressive. You know, it takes an awful lot of patience to win someone over.
And me, especially my mindset and how I go about things, I'm not trying to win anyone over. I'm just trying to explain what's going on the best I can.
Well, that's winning someone over, especially if they're skeptical of whatever that you're telling them.
And a lot of people are like, "Oh, you're an idiot. You're a joke. Whatever." I mean, they throw it all at me, and it's like, whatever, man. I think I've done enough research.
Yeah, people will get really nasty when you confront them with a difference in their belief system. Now, I think emotionally mature people won't do that, but quite a few people will.
We got to get to that level. We got to get to that level where everyone is emotionally mature. Sometimes I'll like, oh man, what the hell, dude? Really? Sometimes I'll be like a maniac, dude. You're an idiot, and I'm like, as soon as I say it, I'm like, I just messed up. I just messed up. Because you can't be like, oh, you're a fucking idiot. You can't say that. Because
that's right. You have to put, to some extent, you have to put them in. You have to put yourself in their shoes. Like, why do they believe these crazy things? You have to get to the root of the problem.
Right.
I mean, if someone is rational, or even if they're irrational, the question is why. Like what information have they been exposed to that you haven't been exposed to, or what information haven't they been exposed to that they need to hear?
The height of maturity. The height of maturity. Put yourself in somebody else's shoes and see it from their point of view. That's the height.
That's right. It can be very, very challenging when they get really aggressive with you. It can be very challenging.
Absolutely. I'm gonna stop. Wait, I gotta. Let's see. They might be giants. Let's play a little bit of this. Oh, that's ads. I mean AIDS. I call ads AIDS. I think it's a dilly dilly ad. Yes, they're getting ready for the Super Bowl. Alright, let's see what it is. Wow, this is taking forever. Hold on. I'll get it.
Now it's Istanbul, not Constantinople, been a long time gone. Constantinople, now turns to light on the left hand. Every gal in Constantinople is in Istanbul, not Constantinople. So okay, in Constantinople, she.
Oh my gosh. I found it. I'm sorry. I'm being an idiot right now. You still on?
Yeah, I'm here.
Istanbul, Constantinople. I saw They Might Be Giants at Stone Mountain, where they had that racist Confederate thing carved into the mountain. And it was a great concert. It was a good time. I was there with a bunch of good friends at Georgia Tech, and there was a lightning storm going on while we were there.
I remember hearing about that.
It was nuts. And they're like, and they played anyway. They're like, you know what? We were told not to play, but we're going to anyway. Might be pretty cool in some kind of crazy public execution kind of way. And they just started ripping. They played that song, Istanbul, Constantinople. That's nobody's business but the Turks.
Huh. And maybe the Greeks.
And everybody else knows what it's about. Alright. I'm going to go ahead and stop.